Oh my god, they're letting in the people.
The humans are entering.
The humans. There's no humans here. There's no ponies here.
Ponies pretending to be humans.
Yeah.
To make a selection. Let's not be looking what do we say? I want to say close.
Oh, Jesus!
Sonic boom.
But now I'm curious more why we have a fire going in the bunker and why the weather pony is monitoring it.
Our benevolent overlords, of course. And their latest news story requires us to actually use a fire to cook things.
Shouldn't this set off the fire alarm?
Oh, that silly thing? Psh, we disabled it with a cup of water and some tape.
What if we set the entire bunker on fire?
Then we just pull the tape and boom! Fire alarm and sprinklers go spinny squirting.
Precisely. But, I believe we have, well, completely burnt this one.
We should make a note of that one. In case of a really hot fire, you gotta get in there just right with that and the wing, wing, wing. Oh God, there's a fire in this place!
What is any of that?
Well, you know how fire sounds are the best way to determine nuances of its heat. And our weather pony was just illustrating those sounds we need to measure for.
Could use another sample of that meat, though. This one is burnt crispy.
Let me guess. Our benevolent overlords sending more to replace what we overcook?
Precisely. We have to get this exactly right.
What exactly are we cooking? It smells like meat.
Apparently, it is leftover meat.
Why am I the slightest bit surprised? Has kept all of your bodies that they could.
I thought you would be more surprised that we were eating what used to be a pony.
Considering the number of mutations under a weather pony at this point, do you really think that it's still technically cannibalism anymore?
Sometimes I just eat my own leaves that appear in my hair and it makes my brain tingle.
Anyway, we have determined he is edible without any harmful side effects. And our benevolent overlords wish for us to demonstrate how one might prepare wild meats. They thought it best we do this with a brand new form of brand extremely high quality meat.
Buffering.
Our weather pony is now a brand of and you're okay with this? Hey, wait a minute. Since when is on our banned words list?
Our benevolent overlords have come to the conclusion that is a grossly insulting term when our weather pony has willingly agreed to enter into this relationship, in which his bodies are considered food. That is, so long as they keep you-know-what with him.
Oh, come on. At this point, we all know how the routine goes. I come out here to do the report, something unexpected happens that causes me to die in some over-the-top fashion, and then boom! Our benevolent overlords pop out another me ready for the next show. At this point, I'm just along for the ride.
Fine. Just give me a piece of leg when it's done.
Wait, that wasn't in the script.
What do you mean? This is normal by now, isn't it?
No, I mean, no, it is not. You're supposed to be the one freaking out, questioning all of this. We are so far off script. Now, oh no. Please, benevolent overlords. She doesn't know what she's doing. Please.
I think you need to take a chill. I wonder if our benevolent overlords could get us some brownies to help with that. Let me guess. This is what we're eating until we get this right.
Abso-positively. If you fail the first time, just try again. Oh wow, I didn't even have to die this time.
Please download it.
I mean, we can't have that now, can we? If we do not use our regeneration ration, we can't keep asking for it, right?
You can at least use them all at once. I can't really feel anything from the high-velocity lead poisoning projectiles. Brand, by the way.
And now I have a mess to clean up along with the campfire. Oh, hey, look at that. This broadcast was exactly enough time for that hunk of hip to cook just right.
What? Oh, yes, you heard it here, viewers. Just listen to this broadcast for proper timing to cook your very own hunk of hip for proper consumption. Yes, proper consumption. From our new brand, totally not pony, Wasteland Mystery Meat.
Thank you, my cohort. This is delicious.
Since when are you the sane one?
See? It says right here in the script. I become the sane one. Lot of everything.
Well, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, we'll be in touch, so you can be less touched.
What smells so yummy?
Is working now? There we go. Hi everyone, I'm Fiaura. It took 2 months to start writing this again. For those of you who don't know, I got COVID in May and then all of my projects got side-railed because I basically got to spend 3 weeks in recovery and I started physical therapy this month. I am totally not out of breath already. Welcome to Why Does Fallout Equestria Exist? We're going to sit here, we're going to talk about where it came from, why it exists. One of my voice actors just left the stage. I have no idea what happened there. My animator is sitting next to me. Say hi.
Hi.
Oh, there's Ellie. There's supposed to be 2 more voice actors up here with us, but I don't know where they are. As with all things, nothing ever runs on time or, in one piece. Yay.
TriCon in a nutshell.
I'm in one piece.
She is.
be ponies.
Yes.
Yes, well, mayonnaise.
Big Bong.
That's better!
So, first I'm going to explain who I am, then we're going to talk about what we're doing in this panel, and then we're going to jump into it. Hi, I'm Fiaura. I'm author of Fallen Equestria Dead Tree, and I started a new book series.
Woo!
That we'll find out more about later because we have an animation for it and an animation for Fallout Equestria. In addition to, I am normally a science, I've said this for so long now, and I haven't actually done a science research paper in like 8 years. I have a bachelor's in a master's in human communication, a bachelor's in human sexuality, and a associate's in biology. I could be your therapist tomorrow. I don't want to be.
Please.
No.
I need more
What'd you
help.
offer?
I got started into Fallout Equestria because I got drafted by a friend to run his Fallout Equestria tabletop games on live stream, and it is still going. It's been 6 years.
What level are you?
19?
Get good.
I also legally published Fallout Equestria by going to the Virginia state court system into the federal district courts. That was fun. And why do I have a phone call? Who's calling me?
Get it. Yeah, put him on speaker.
It's Inky, Notebook, who should be on this panel.
Okay, they hung up. I answered the phone, they hung up. Alright, anyway, Dead Tree legally isn't fanfiction, it's parody now. At least that's what the federal 13th District Supreme Court says. Yeah, I'm working on a new series called Here There Be Dragons. Which is not fantasy, surprisingly enough. I'm still just a sci-fi author. So, what we're going to talk about is why Fallout Equestria exists, how it became popular, what makes it keep being popular. Then I'm going to say it. Then I'm going to use 7 words or less to describe each of the big 7 side stories. And then our voice actor and animator here are going to explain their experience with it and whatever else they want to go off on a tangent about. And then we're going to play some animations for you guys before Q&A.
Yeah.
Yay, tangents.
Do it, do it, do it.
So, first thing, timing. Who here knows what the Wayback Machine is? It is an invaluable research tool when researching things that only exist on the internet. If you go back to 2012, guess what the only thing on FimFiction is?
Fallout Equestria.
Shipping and porn. That's it. I looked at every single story that was on FimFiction in 2012. It's all shipping and porn.
What's the difference?
One's for adults and one's for kids. So we needed something worth reading that wasn't, one of those 2 categories. Enter Fallout Equestria and KCAT getting laughed off of fanfiction.net and moving over to FimFiction and becoming the most beloved story on FimFiction ever. So some things that KCAT did to facilitate that. 1, KCAT doesn't want to be famous. Ever. She attends 1 convention a year, incognito, and no, I'm not telling you which one or when we're going to dinner. And at the time she was writing this story, when it was coming out, Fallout New Vegas was still releasing DLCs.
Oh.
Yeah, back in my day! And Fallout was incredibly popular and apparently could do no wrong. Hi, Todd Howard. Can you give this to someone else, please?
Enter Fallout 76.
More importantly, for us who were watching My Little Pony, the show was on the long hiatus between season 2 and 3. You know, the one that lasted 18 months before we knew anything. And then somebody leaked the SF film and Flash for the show to the public. So you had all these puppets, but Hasbro was copyright striking everything, so you needed characters that couldn't be copyright struck. Hi, Little Pip. Hi, Calamity. How are you? We're going to make Flash cutouts of you. And then the Bernie documentary came out, was the next little piece of the puzzle I could put together, in which people in full-on Fallout cosplay were walking around BronyCon. With vault suits, pip bucks, there's an NCR Ranger that shows up there. A year later, a guy from Russia shows up in a full power armor steel hooves cosplay, complete with Gatling cannon.
Please tell me there's a photo of that.
I am in a photo of that on Twitter. And it's on my old phone. It's somewhere in my Google files that I have to go find for the backup. And FOE appeals beyond just like MLP. So, who's ever heard of Happy Tree Friends?
Yeah.
I'm showing my age. They just put out their last episode in 2021.
They were still making it?
Yes! It has 29 seasons. We apparently as human beings like taking cute, adorable creatures and, well, doing horrible things to them. I don't understand why. There are ongoing research studies to figure out why. But it happens. Now that you understand the timing of how Fallout Equestria became popular, before I start talking about FOE itself, I'm gonna shut up. Ellie or Film Shot? Who wants to go first?
You don't. We both get, okay, so, Fallout Equestria, I literally got a part on Data Window, who's, I'm allowed to say, she's a villain, which is unusual for me, but she seems kind of nice when you first meet her, but apparently there's more to come and she's not good. It's not good. So I have to dig deep into my soul for my villainous self. But I am Inky Notebook's mother, who plays the lead in the show, and does an amazing job. I'm sure you're going to hear some of that. I find it fascinating, when the fanfics get presented for the fandom, it's a fantastic, I just think what's going to get over to this, but the animation is spectacular, the music is spectacular. It's still a way for us to come together and share stories that are other than, and characters that are other than unique to the fandom, because they're ponies and they're ponies in action. So for me, it was just a fascinating extension of what I'm already doing in Gen 4 and Gen 5. I did not get didn't erase that last statement.
Nope, we heard it.
What the hair oil just came out of my mouth? Nothing. I've got a mask.
I didn't hear anything.
Nothing. I don't know.
You're just a villain. I mean, would you like a little spoiler?
I did too. Well, would I like a spoiler?
Yeah, for your own role.
You mean about Shadow Window?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I thought you were taking me down.
You
there.
shoot your kid in the head.
Me! Like,
Spoiler alert.
that was her head exploding, apparently. Okay, yeah, so that's something to look forward to. But there's also what I find is phenomenal music in the show, and a great effort is put into creating, I feel, a really unique extension of just what the fandom is longing for. And I think you've got a huge audience, and I think it's spectacular, and I'm really honored to be a part of it, and a part of stories, because literally these stories don't exist without you guys. That's what they're being created for. So you're as much a character in the fan fictions as I am, and all the other characters in the show, because we tell stories together, and the audience is the biggest character in the show. So that would be all. And I'm forever grateful for such a phenomenal fandom that allows for us to continue to create stories where we can keep the energy alive about, ponies, and keep it going. And that's what we're doing here, actually, at TrotCon. It's all just one big story that we share together, and we're all a part of these stories. So Fallout Equestria for me is just an absolute extension of not only the fandom, not only the ponies, not the bronies, everybody, the artists, the animators, the writers, the creators. We're just one phenomenal explosion of inspiration. So yay for us, gang. Is this thing on?
All right, Film Shot, you're up.
Yay. I'm not much of a talker, so I'll keep this short. Hi, I'm Filmshot. Nice to meet you. I'm the animator for this lady right here. So, as you probably figured, what I do is animation. That's about it, really. I work for her. I do collaboration with source filmmaker. I work a little bit with Argo David, if you know that.
Argo.
And, yeah. I like horses that shoot guns. That's why I like all the guns. They go boom.
What's your favorite horse shooting gun?
He not only has an animation for you for Fall Equestria today, which no one's ever seen except me. I saw it last night.
Oh.
I didn't see it until this morning.
I saw it.
Yeah, you saw it.
You did it.
Our modeler saw it. That's about it. And he has another one that he literally cooked up in like 48 hours
Last.
last month that we will be showing you guys later too. But he gets to work with us, and I'm currently writing the next music video. That only takes like 3.5 months to make. You know, I'm working on the next music video that you're gonna have to animate.
What?
I know, right? I told you had like 3 shorts
Yes.
and then another music video.
I
Aww.
missed that part.
Okay.
Oh.
Surprise!
So, with Fallout Equestria, K-Cat did something unique. A lot of the time you see crossover fics and they're interesting collisions, and that's about it. They don't do anything with the characters, they don't make their own characters, and more importantly, they don't go anywhere. So K-Cat set out by making a hero's journey. It is a classic mistake for me to watch hundreds of writers sit there and write like Transformers and My Little Pony. There's a reason why the comics for that are only like 7 issues. The story really doesn't have a lot of places to go after that. But I go on FimFiction and I find stuff like Voltron and Ponies, it's 2 chapters. Battlestar Galactica and Ponies, it's 3 chapters. Star Wars and Ponies, 6 chapters? And all of them are incomplete.
Yep.
Because the writer started writing without a plan and just thought that throwing the 2 universes together would be cool. Okay, you need a story in there somewhere. And that's what's important. It's when a lot of side projects run out of steam and why a lot of authors lose interest in the gimmick of the 2 sides colliding. And I just realized for the first time since I was presenting this panel, there's a spelling error on this slide that annoys me.
I don't see it.
Okay. K-Cat wrote a good story first and foremost, as I described. She wrote what's called a hero's journey. So you start at point A with the idealistic hero who thinks they know everything. Something happens, and they go try to fix it. And then they learn that they know nothing, get brought to their knees, have absolutely horrible things happen, figure out how to fix everything, and then bring that knowledge back to where they came as a changed person. So her entire quest is a series. Little Pip's entire quest in Kick-Ass Original is a series of hero's journeys. For every single chapter is a self-enclosed hero's journey, and every single one of those intertwines to create a bigger loop. And each time that she figures something out, it leads somewhere else. Like, oh, Arabu is a bunch of cannibals. Let's deal with that. And then she finds out about Red Eye. And that just gets worse.
Cannibals, that's fun.
The most important part about writing anything post-apocalyptic, however, is one very core rule. No one's safe. Ever. Steel Hoops dies in 2 sentences. He's there for 40 chapters and dies in 2 sentences. I kill one of my main characters in chapter 6. I kill another one in chapter 43. From out of nowhere. You don't see it coming. It's just bang. And you're like, wait, what? Every time I say bang, that's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bang.
But because she wrote a good story and a good setting, and then looked at all of us and went, I don't care what you do, go play. We get all of this. Fallout as a theme is something we've been exploring since the Cold War dropped. Everybody's like, what would have happened if it went hot? I don't know. Can we imagine if it did? Sure. There are 37 role-playing tabletop games that are solely based on the idea that the Cold War went hot at some point. There are dozens of video games based on that idea. There are 13 Fallout successors that came out in the last 3 years that are all isometric RPGs. I played 4 of them.
Which one?
And the offshoots result in things like Project Horizons.
Oh god.
Horizon.
And also, K-Cat decided not to dictate anything about it. She stepped into the shadows and let us play with the world, and Ellie is wonderful, and I did not mean to actually hit her.
I like it.
Oh, Matt. So, as of last night, there are 283 stories of Fallout Equestria that exceed 20,000 words. The number of stories that don't exceed 20,000 words, I failed to count, but it's a lot. My own story, Fallout Equestria Dead Tree, is one of the 7 recognized major side stories that is still going. I just had a few months break to figure out another project, and get sick and almost die.
I was gonna say COVID,
Plague, beer. I got the beer plague.
beer pong.
There are 9 radio plays / audio dramas that are exclusively just that, radio plays and audio dramas. You just listen to one of them. That's called News from the Bunker, which is, what if we took the idea of News from the Night Vale and gave it to Stable Tank? Night Vale. Alright, so now I'm going to describe to you what a major side story is, because this is a question I get a lot, and it's a very simple answer that I got from the people who run the Fallout Equestria Wiki. 1, you have to have your own article on Equestria Daily somewhere, somehow. It seems arbitrary, but that's their rule. 2, if you take your characters and put them next to anyone else's characters, they have to be distinct. You have to have artwork that easily makes it distinguishable. And 3, you must have an existing print version somewhere. It can be a magazine for all they care. There just has to be an existing physical copy. Usually we get this through the Ministry of Image, a lot less now because the Ministry of Image is located in Russia, and no one's able to talk to them, much less get stuff we need from them. Traveling Pony Museum, Inky, does a bunch of book printing projects and receives them as well. And there are completely independent printings, such as Dead Tree's independent, there's an independent version of Horizons. I have seen a physical copy of Guys of Chaos at this con 5 years ago. I have never seen one since. If you have that, please come show it to me. I want to appreciate it, because I actually read it now.
And just an FYI, I did an online MLP convention with Russia a few months ago. So even though they've shut down everywhere else, the Russian bronies are still selling it and loving it and doing it and trying to keep the love alive in Russia. So there you go.
But trying to get physical books out of Russia is like,
No, forget about that.
So, I'm going to talk about the big 7 in 10 words or less. I said 7 earlier. I lied. You can call me on it. Project Horizons. Everyone knows me. I jumped the shark. I'm the longest.
Jumping the shark doesn't even cut it. It's more like rocket jumping with a super speed over a megalodon.
It is 77 chapters plus a prologue. And about 1.8 million words. Somber wrote it in 18 months, which is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Me being a writer, that's terrifying for speed. And it's the second most prominent thing when you search Fallout Equestria. As a matter of fact, if you search Fallout Equestria on Google and go to images, you will see Little Pip and Blackjack. Guaranteed. No matter what your search history is. Even in incognito mode.
Why would you need incognito mode for Fallout Equestria?
Heroes, I have no special powers. The book. This took 7 years to write, by the way. He just finished it last February. I was like, wait, this took how long? And he's announced he's never going to write anything else. He spent 7 years writing his masterpiece, and that's all he's doing. But yeah, the author's name, by the way, is No One. That's not me saying that no one wrote it. No, that's his name, No One.
I think I talked to him just.
Pink Eyes, cute small death ghoul finds mom.
Yeah.
It's 135,000-ish words. It took 3 months. From beginning to end, 3 months. There are some weeks where there are 3 chapters published in a week. It is the only major side story and only Fallout Equestria story I've ever read that is written exclusively using the language of a child. You can read this as a nursery rhyme if you know If you don't mind the violence or anything like that. It's also the shortest of the major 7 side stories. Dentry! Fallout 4 rewritten to be good. Hashtag fuck Todd Howard. That's my one F-bomb. At present, I have released 612,000-ish words. I have 2 chapters I haven't released that are actually finished, but, you know, I tend to run out of breath, like right now. It is the only major side story still actively being written. I'm finishing it now. I've released the outline for the last book. That has been released publicly. You can go on my Patreon and actually access it without having to have any subscribe pledge or anything. You can just go grab it. And you can hold me to it. It's also the only story based on the events at a tabletop game that I radically changed. Artistic license. Yes. And also I got a cease and desist for ever talking to Todd Howard ever again. I mailed a copy of it with a sticky note that said I made a better Fallout 4 with ponies. To his desk. By the way, if you're curious where I got that address, there's a gentleman named Mikey. I'm not going to say his last name or anything else about him, but he at one point was a liaison between a company and Bethesda. He's also still someone's head of PR, and he's just like, here's Todd Howard's address. You can totally do this.
Put a smiley face on that sticky note.
No.
You should get a raise.